Best of r/entitled parents episode 86. Subscribe for edit videos daily. I worked in a pretty affluent school district for 14 years and met a lot of EPs. These two from my first year of teaching never left my mind though. Obviously dialogue is not totally accurate. Sorry it's long. Go to TL. Doctor if you don't want to read. As an 8th grade English teacher, it was my job to recommend either Honours English, Level 1 English, or Level 2 English for my students' 9th grade year. Personally I hated this. I want kids to work to the best of their abilities and not make them feel inferior when they just might not be mentally mature enough for a higher placement yet. Math and science also had to make similar recs. To clarify, Level 1 was a normal, rigorous class, probably comparable to the class I was currently teaching. Level 2 was for kids who really struggled with reading and writing. Honours was very intense. Students would write numerous papers that might not even get graded. They would have multiple chapters to read independently each night, frequent tests and quizzes, and no grammar instruction. BC they should already have mastered it at this point. It was probably appropriate for maybe 20% of my students at most. Math and science were tracked in the same way. Parents never liked this either. Multiple complaints every year, but parents could choose to waive their children into whichever level they decided. Pretty much never went well. So many kids who would waive into Honours would fail quarter 1 and need to drop a level before the end of the semester. On the other hand, if a kid dominated in Level 1, their current teacher could suggest moving them up. These two EPs asked for a meeting with me, the math teacher, and science teacher. When they joined us in the room we were meeting in, they were absolutely simmering with rage. Their boy had not been recommended for any Honours classes and that was not okay. Basically, we explained, kiddo did a good job. Did his homework, got solid B's and some A's. Did what he was asked, no more, no less. He fit the description of a Level 1 kid. ED, either you are all wrong or this school has failed our son. He came in with straight A's in elementary school. You obviously didn't teach him well enough or you placed him incorrectly. EM, my husband and I graduated from Ivy League schools. Our other two children are in Ivy League schools. Us. Okay. But we aren't placing them or you. We are placing this kiddo. And pretty much, if you do your work in our elementary schools, you get an A. ED, well then you need to give him more time to do better. He obviously wasn't trying. Us. Honours kids don't need to be warned to try. They just try and succeed. BC they are really advanced in these areas. EM, how will he get into a good college if he is in Level 1? Us. Every year almost all of the senior class goes on to college, some fantastic colleges too. Plus if he does well, he can go up a level. ED, then put him in Honours and if he does badly he can move down. Us. That can be really tough on a kid. To be in a class with other kids and then have to leave because you can't achieve what they can. Also, the class has to slow down to try to help any kid who isn't grasping the material and now the whole class is behind. It's much better for a kid's self-esteem to do so well they move up. Also, remember you can waive him in. EM, we don't want to waive him in. We want you to recommend him. ED, all of our friends' kids are in Honours. How would it look if we had to waive our boy in? Ding. 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 There it is. They can't hold their heads high in the country club if their son is just normal. We ended up saying if the boy made a drastic improvement by the end of the year we would reconsider. BTW, he didn't. Even with some incredible papers written at home for my class. Weird how he couldn't write as well in class. Parents waived him in. He bombed all three and ended up back in Level 1 for all except science. Ended up passing science by the skin of his teeth. Honestly, my heart goes out to him. That really sucks, especially if your parents are comparing your success to theirs, your siblings, and your neighbors. TL. Dr. EPs insisted on moving their son to higher level classes against teacher recommendations. Kid failed with flying colors. Thank you. Next. I don't even know what to do anymore. Okay, so, around Christmas, my girlfriend got into a heated argument with her mother, who wanted to see her for the holiday but wouldn't help her buy a plane ticket to come to Asia to see her family. So she, EM, came here to America to try and force her to come back to South Korea with her, which thankfully she failed at and got herself escorted back to the airport by the police. After that, I was pretty sure that GF wanted absolutely nothing to do with her mother. After all this had gone down, we both had a feeling EM was up to something, and it had to do with GF coming back home to their family. Just the other day, GF got a text message. It was in Korean. Note, this is all from her POV, so it might not be perfect, but it sounds really creepy. This guy, let's call him Richard, you know why, got her number and texted her. He claimed that he got her number from her mum, and he lived in Incheon, which is just a bit away from her hometown. EM had told his parents all about her, and he was immediately interested in her. Conversation didn't last long, obviously. GF blocked his number. Then came another text, a new number. Hey girl, GF, who's this? Richard again, why'd you block me? Blocked again. Then another text came in. Hey girl, GF, oh my god, is this Richard again? Yeah, I just wanna talk. GF, look, Richard, I don't know why my mom gave you my number, but she obviously didn't tell you that I have a boyfriend. Did she even tell you I don't live here anymore? Oh, I can get you back here. All I gotta do is talk to my dad. GF, no, don't bother, I'm not coming back. Blocked again. So naturally, she started getting a bit creeped out, but she really didn't want to talk to her mom about it. I wouldn't either, and she and I really didn't have any idea what to do. I mean, neither of us know this guy, and even if we did, he's 6,000 miles away, so what exactly could we do about it other than her keeping on blocking his texts? That was when I got a text. See, when she had her little tiff with her mom back at Christmas, I sent her mom a lengthy text about how I felt. Naturally, after meeting me, she must have realized she doesn't like me very much, and I'm guessing she never lost my number, even though I've blocked hers. So I started getting these texts from a different number and in a different language, but I could tell it was Korean. So I pasted it in a translator, and used the same one to text her back. It went something like this. Again, pretty fuzzy, it happened really fast. EM, my daughter is being very selfish and it's all your fault. Me, is this EM? EM, yes. Me, leave me, and her, alone, and tell that Richard guy to leave her alone too. EM, you do not tell me how to treat my child. Me, your child is a grown woman, mom, and she doesn't want to come back to South Korea with you. If you were a real parent, you'd respect her wishes. EM, look, I just want to have a better relationship with my daughter, and you're the only thing keeping her away from me. Starting to lose my shit. EM, I would happily pay for her plane ticket, passport, everything she needs to come back to me. Suddenly you can? EM, what do you say? Me, are you serious right now? EM, of course. Neither of you can pay for it, obviously, and I want my daughter back home right now. Me, he'll have to pay for 2 tickets and passports then. EM, what? Why 2? Me, if she's going, I'm going with her. EM, oh, you don't have to go. I'm sure your family would miss you dearly. Me, oh, that's right, I'd miss them dearly too. Make that about 14 tickets and passports, then. EM, I can't afford that much. Me, well it's the only way you're gonna get to see her, unless you come back here to America and get yourself arrested again. EM, why are you being so difficult? She's my daughter. Me, exactly. Blocked, happily. Another number pops up. You will not keep my own daughter away from me. Blocked again. Another one pops up, and GF recognized it. The very last number Richard used. Hey, man, leave my girl alone. What? Blocked again. No other numbers yet, but I'm sure there will be more. I will update further if I get any more. I just don't know what to do about it. They're basically being trolls, and they're both grown adults. Thankfully, GF is having quite a laugh out of how desperate they both are. Thank you. Next. So this happened over yesterday and today. As usually EM entitled mom, ET entitled teenager, man manager, bar barista, and me. TLDR. EM and ET leave a flat tire outside the back door of our cafe overnight, then flip their lids when it gets stolen. The cafe that I work at has a small parking lot in back. Actually parking lot is generous. We've got 4 stalls, 2 for employees. We rotate parking privileges through the employee list, and 2 for patrons. Most of our traffic is off the street on foot, but the 2 patron parking spots are usually always occupied. So yesterday we were processing our food order, taking inventory on what we received. The back double doors in our place were wide open and there was 3 of us plus the delivery driver working on the pallet. A pretty nice luxury car, I think an Audi or whatever, pulls into one of the empty employee spots, then I assume saw the employees only sign and then moved into a patron spot. Out hops EM and ET, with ET having been driving. Instantly they go for the open double doors, blocked when one of my co-worker barista stops them. Sorry, you'll have to use the front door. Employees only in food prep areas. EM, what? Why? I can see straight into the seating area from here. It's food safety regulations. Sorry but we have to follow it. The roll of EM's and ET's eyes told us everything we need to know, and we all braced for what was coming next. Thankfully it didn't come though. They ordered their drinks and a couple sandwiches, and the worst we got was a complaint-ish, more like a slightly prickly suggestion honestly, from ET that we didn't offer enough dairy alternative milks. An hour or so passes and I'm in the back again, this time supervising the delivery of some new equipment. EM and ET come back, go to get into the car when ET's eyes go wide. ET, the tire's flat. EM, what? ET, the front tire's flat. EM walks around and goes pale. Oh my god. EM now looks like she's about to have a heart attack or a stroke or something. ET's stress is visibly through the roof. Manager, who is out there with me, sees this and steps in. Man, hey, if your tire's flat and you need some help, I can help out. Me, against my better judgment. Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. EM whirls around and glares. Why didn't you say something sooner? ET goes from nervous breakdown to overjoyed. Mom, just let them help out. They turn to us. Can you get started now? Me and manager give each other sidelong glances and decide to help them out. About 10 minutes later we've got the flat tire off and the spare on. Man, right, so don't go over. She looks at the tire. 50 kilometers per hour with this thing and you should be fine. ET, 50? But that's so slow. Me, it's a spare tire. It's really not meant to be used that roughly. Just take the flat to a shop and get it patched or replaced. EM, could you guys keep it here overnight? Man, looking confused. EM, I don't want to take it home tonight. Man laughs a little, worried about getting the inside of your car dirty? We've got some plastic wrap we could give you. ET, no, we just don't want to take it home tonight. Man stops laughing. Okay, number. We can't keep it here. ET, why not? Man, we've got no space left to store it. We've just got our major delivery for the week. EM, so, make it fit. Man, and plus we don't allow customers to store their personal property on the premise. ET, that's bullshit. Man, now visibly annoyed. We're done here. Sagiaf profession. Get the new machine inside. EM wheels the tire towards us and the open door. You guys are now responsible for this. Me, no we're not. Man, Sage, make sure you lock the door. EM, if it's stolen it's your fault. Me, no it's not. We closed and locked the back door, and I lingered there for a bit. Sure enough there's the thud of a tire being laid down, and looking through the peephole, I watch EM and ET get in their car and speed off in an unsafe manner. We close uneventfully with clear instructions and a text to all employees from manager stating not to touch the tire at all, to just leave it as it's not our responsibility. We all go home, but while we're gone the security system is recording. We've got a homeless population in our area, and on a regular night we record a few walking through the alleyway, sometimes scavenging for food, other times stopping to talk. Tonight we had a newcomer, which we have dubbed Tire Man, along with a friend who stopped by at about 2 AM. Luckily we had audio on our cameras. Tire Man, spotting the abandoned, flat tire. Is that tire friend? Is that what? Tire Man scrambles up and scoops up the tire. I need this. Tire friend, unintelligible. Tire Man, I need this. I need this for me. I need it. I need it. I need, unintelligible. Tire Man and friend leaves with EM and ET's tire. Today, this morning we get EM and ET back. Manager spotted them while they were arriving, and she promptly locked the back door as soon as she saw the car. Man, Nobody unlock the back door. Nobody open IT no matter what. One of our regulars, a police officer, is in the cafe. He stands up and gives us a look. Police, is there something wrong? Man, might be, I dunno. Manager waves him over and explains everything. Shortly after they arrive, EM and ET are banging on the back door and screaming at the top of their lungs. Within minutes they're storming in the front door. ET, where's my tire? EM, your tire? IT's my car. ET, where's my tire? Police, calm down mom. EM and ET at this point whirled around to the police officer. What followed was an incoherent, screaming barrage of accusations and curses that I could barely follow. I think the general gist was they wanted the entire staff arrested until they could find the tire. The officer took about 5 seconds of this before they had enough. Police, hey, calm down or I'm going to arrest you for disturbing the peace. Don't quote me on what they said exactly. I was half paying attention, half trying to take an order up front. EM, I left them responsible for my flat tire. They should have it. Police, enough. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take your details, everyone's including the employees, and we're going to start investigating what happened. Alright. EM and ET sputtered a bit more before the officer silenced them again. Details were taken and accounts were noted down, including mine. EM and ET left, threatening to sue us. Manager countered with, if you want to contact us, please do so through my lawyers. You're no longer welcome. Please don't return. After having my information taken and giving a statement, I left because my shift was over. I got a text about an hour ago from my manager. Apparently the officer saw the surveillance footage and clearly stated that he was going to recommend that no further investigation be done. He took a copy of the footage for police records and left. As for the rest of us, we're bracing just in case they show up tomorrow. Thank you. Next. This happened a few years ago. I prefer not to reveal my ethnicity, but let's just say I'm half white and half dark, and look it. My wife is so white she might as well be pale blue. My son, Nate, looks like his mom, which has gotten me a few weird looks over the years, but he's mine. Thank you. Next. My stepdaughter, 7, has been recently exhibiting some pretty extreme behavioral issues, mostly entitlement issues and bullying. This has escalated over the course of the last few months. My DH and I have taken control of the issue at our home and she has learned her boundaries around us. However, we cannot control what happens when she is at her mother's house. The other day my SD had an award ceremony at school. She received 2 awards for being top in her class for mathematics and language arts. She is a very smart kid. Another little boy received an award for art. At the end of the ceremony the kids all lined up for photos with their awards. SD happened to be standing next to the little boy with the art award. I noticed that SD leaned over and said something to him and he suddenly stopped smiling and looked as though he was about to cry. SD started laughing and ran off to her mom. Later that night when SD was at my house I asked her what she had said to the little boy. SD, I told him that my awards were better. Me, why did you tell him that? SD, because my awards say that I'm smart and his award is because he made some stupid drawing in class. Me, his award is just as important. It says he's creative and being creative is a good thing. It means he is also very smart. SD, number. IT, doesn't. Art is stupid. I'm gonna be a doctor and make lots of money. What's he gonna do? Draw? Me, there are lots of famous artists. You never know what he could do. SD, I don't think so. His drawings suck. And of course that conversation got a lot deeper and I finally got her to agree with me. The next day I found a video that was taken by SD's mom of that exact moment SD said the shitty thing to the art kid. She captioned the video as, "Look at my daughter, ruling the roost again. She's such a smarty pants." I decided to comment on it and ask her if she knew what SD had said to the boy. She said she did and that it was totally fine. It was just SD expressing herself. When I told her that the behavior was unacceptable, she went off. Bio mom, SD has a big personality and tells people how it is. You shouldn't be suppressing that side of her. Me, I would never suppress who she is, but she also needs to learn the difference between telling the truth and being mean. Bio mom, I don't think she was being mean. She was simply expressing her opinion. Me, well, Her opinion was mean and unwanted. She could have kept that to herself and let that little boy walk away with some pride in himself. Bio mom, I honestly don't care. Everyone perceives her as a bully and that's why she has a hard time making friends at school. She isn't a bully. She's just smarter than all the other kids and they are jealous of that. You guys. We have found the root of the behavioral problems. TLDR. Stepdaughter's bio mom praises her for bullying another kid. Thank you. Next. Backstory. I am from Serbia and if mother gives birth to third child she gets 3 years of work. My friend, F, did not appear in school for few weeks and we just found out why. F's mother gave birth to third child when we were 4th grade. Now we are 7th grade and F's mother still did not get call from school where she works as Russian teacher to get back from work. F's father, ED, came to school to ask what was happening. Principal just said I am sorry, but we found other teacher. He was mad. Now we were normally going to school and one day my friends told me this. Her best and only friend was mad whenever we say anything about this. 2 weeks later my form teacher and F's younger brother's form teacher came to their house. Cast. ED. Entitled Dad. FT. My form teacher. T. Younger brother's form teacher. FTMT. Calmly. Hello. We want to talk about your case. ED. Yes. T. We hope you can let your children to school. You are risking to get them kicked out of school. ED. I don't care. We don't have any income. We will go bankrupt soon. And if we send our children to school they will spend money on food and school supplies. T. But please. Dialogue goes in unknown direction that we don't know about, but we know about what FT&T we're talking. T. Why did not you say anything? FT. I don't want to lose my nerves with that man. I will get retired in 10 years and then I can enjoy life. And you won't believe it, but ED took F and F's younger brother to Ministry of Education and it looked like this. ED. Hello, Ministry, M. Hello, ED. My wife was fired and we don't have any income. M. Okay, why don't you try to find a job? ED. No way I am doing that. Her firing was your fault. Clearly Ministry did not have to do any of that, and now I am leaving you the children. M. What? You can't do that. ED. But, M. There is no but. Take children home or we are reporting you to police. ED. Okay. Now his wife was given back to her job and the situation calmed down. Do you think ED was right or no? I think he wasn't. Thank you. Next. Hey guys, I've recently found this sub and I've been having a blast reading everyone's stories. I've had my fair share of experiences with entitled parents but there's one that takes the cherry by a long mile. So much so that my friends still joke about it, over 10 years after the incident. I'm from the south of Spain, and I attended a semi-private high school in the capital of my province. With good weather all year round sports are a big thing in Spain, and kids usually enroll in some extracurricular sport team with their school, often attending inter-school tournaments which were, in my opinion, really enjoyable. Me, being a nearly hyperactive kid, tried multiple sports but my biggest passion was basketball. Now, I'm not your ideal basketball player. I'm rather on the average to short standard of height, barely reaching 174 centimeters nowadays and obviously, even less at my 16-17 which is when this story took place. I was however extremely energetic. I ran a lot and I could definitely jump, which covered for my lack of height. I used to play point guard for my school's team, and we did fairly good in our city's school's basketball tournaments. These tournaments took place over months, the schools agreeing matches between the teams regularly, once or twice a week or so. Here is where things start becoming interesting. These matches took place in either of the school's courts/gyms and of course, since they were school events ultimately, the kids' parents were most welcome to them, and often encouraged to attend to cheer for the kids. Usually this made for a nice environment, and the kids, even though competitive and sometimes rough, would generally enjoy and play fairly. But not this time. My school team had a match with a nearby school, a completely private one, as opposed to the semi-private I attended, with which we had a sort of rivalry. In this match I ended up covering a kid I had never seen before and who was quite taller than me, standing a bit more than a full head above me. I did not let this scare me. I always loved a challenge, and, a bit to my surprise, Covering him proved to be much easier than I expected. The kid, despite his tall frame, was not athletic at all, and had probably started playing basketball not long ago. He couldn't dribble, he could barely jump at all, and his shooting was just under mediocre. This led to me blocking his shots or stealing the ball from him repeatedly. About the 5th time I do this, I start hearing screams from the spectators' stands. Enter the entitled mother. Keep in mind all this story happened in Spanish, so this is the closest translation I can give. Foul. That kid did a foul to mine. Referee. I briefly look around confused, because I simply had jumped to block a shot from the kid, but the game was on, so I ignored it and carried on. Some moments later, after an unsuccessful attack from my team, I ran back the whole court to defend a pass to the tall kid, and stole the ball from him. Once again, I hear screams. He is cheating. Referee. I ignore it again and dribble past the kid, to which yet another scream ensues. That's not fair. Boo. Stop cheating. Mind you, this was on a gym, with all the noises of kids running around and people chattering and talking, and I swear, everyone could hear her screaming her lungs off. This continues for the rest of the first quarter of the game, and the kid actually started getting red and nervous every time he heard his mother scream, which of course, made him play even worse. When the referee whistled the end of the quarter, I quickly went to drink some water to the gym's fountains, like many other kids, and believe it or not, approached me and started talking. I should point, my parents were not present in this game, as they could not attend all of them, and I was perfectly fine with that. Hi sweetie, I'm the mother of X. I don't actually remember the name of the kid, and you have to stop cheating him now. Me, sweaty and red by the effort, quite confused about the situation. I'm not cheating. You obviously are. Just cause the referee doesn't see it doesn't mean it is okay. He is taller than you, so you shouldn't be taking the ball from him like that. So you are obviously cheating. She reprimands me. At this point I'm actually thinking this must be some sort of joke and that I'm not understanding. Maybe she knows my parents somehow and is trying to be funny with me. I look at one of my teammates confused and he gives me a shrug. We have enrolled X in basketball because he is naturally gifted for it. I imagine she was referring to the kid's height. So please stop with your cheating to make him look bad. We want him to join the city's team. Behave yourself. She leaves. I literally laugh with me teammate and we run back to the court for the second quarter. Things didn't get better. Every time I blocked the tall kid I could hear throwing a screaming fit. Stop. You can't block him when he shots. He is taller. He was, but he could barely jump 10 centimeters, and I would actually reach a bit higher than him. How can he run more? His legs are shorter. That kid is obviously doping. This woman indeed accused me of using performance enhancing drugs as a 16-year-old to win school basketball matches. Stop. Stop doing that. X, don't let him take the ball. He is cheating. Stop that. At this point this had stopped being funny for me and I was feeling harassed. Other parents were also pissed with and my coach was fuming, but not wanting to get in trouble with the school. He hadn't said anything yet. When the second quarter was over we went to the changing room with our coach to rest a bit and go over the strategy for the second half. The game was actually quite tight as their team was generally good and it's not like we were the dream team either. To my surprise and shock, actually enters the changing rooms nearly spitting fire and points at me. You are going to come with me. I told you to stop cheating and I will not stand for this. I say nothing. I do nothing. Actually scared of this woman who invaded our space when we're refreshing and having a break. Come now. You are going to tell the referee you are cheating and you are going to stop playing. She actually reaches and grabs me by the arm with an iron grip and tries to pull me out of the changing room when my coach explodes. Coach, what the Jones think you are doing? Let the kid go now. You should be ashamed. You give your kids drugs to play better and that's cheating. Coach, completely baffled and furious. Lady, you have to let go of the kid right the fuck now and stop with your stupid stories. At this point the situation is escalating quickly. My teammates are either screaming at her, laughing their asses off, or just watching the whole thing speechless. Some other parents from both teams enter the changing room and force to get away from me. All this time she never stops accusing me of cheating, of using drugs and other deluded fantasies. As she is dragged out of the room, "You are going to regret this. I will have you banned from playing in this city. You're a cheater, all of you." She ended up getting expelled from the game, as the referee announced she was disrupting the game and affecting all players negatively. He actually won that game, but the second half felt somewhat not enjoyable after that experience. Toolkit came to me at the end of the game and apologized profusely, and explained that her mother had decided to put him to play basketball in hopes to get some kind of scholarship benefit, even though he didn't particularly like the sport. He was really ashamed and I held no hard feelings to him. We ended up talking about the game a bit and I tried to give him some advice to improve. I heard later Toolkit's school had banned his mother from attending any games, as apparently my case was not an isolated incident and she had pulled similar shit in other occasions. To this date, whenever we play some game, be it physical, board or video game, if I start winning my friends will start yelling at me to stop cheating and stop using drugs to win, so at least I got a fun memory out of all that.